If you are thinking about homeschooling your children bilingually, or you have a few languages at your disposal, then today's video will give you a few things to think about in this whole process and also hopefully encourage you. Hi friend, I'm Sarah from the blog myhomeyourhomeourhome.com and of course this channel. It's good to see you here today. Today's video is all about why our family has chosen to homeschool bilingually. I have made an entire video about my family's bilingual story, just how we got to this place in our lives, and also about my thoughts about raising bilingual children. That's linked in the iCard above and in the description box below, and you can check that out if you want. But today's video is all about why we have chosen bilingual homeschooling. So I want to just share with you a few of my family's needs, and if these are similar to yours, you might also want to consider homeschooling your kids bilingually. My family has multiple different countries that we consider our home. Our children happen to be citizens of two of these countries, Brazil and America. And within these countries, it's actually quite uncommon to find someone who can speak the other language. So in our family, we have one side of the family that speaks only Portuguese, except for maybe two people on that side, and then the other side of the family that speaks only English, again except for one or two people on that side of the family. So we have a lot motivating us to teach our children both Portuguese and English. We want them to feel connected to their families, to their roots, and also to be able to build relationships and communicate with their grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and the people that we have relationships with in those countries. We live overseas, so we don't live in Brazil or in America, and when we go back to visit our families and friends, we want our kids to feel at home, to feel able to relate to people and not like they don't have any place where they really belong in the world. This is one of the characteristics of TCKs, that they can struggle with identity and a sense of belonging. And so we want to help our kids in this way to feel established and rooted. Something that's really important in our situation is that our boys will most likely attend an international school in English. I have been an English teacher at an international school in the past, and also I have observed our friends' families and their kids and them as they have gone to international schools in English, and I've really considered what I've seen. I love international schools. Our family is really invested in this world of international schooling and just living overseas. However, one thing that I know can happen if I'm not careful as a parent is that my kids can end up speaking only English. With my boys most likely going to an international school during the day, they're going to have a lot of English, but we want to also teach them Portuguese. Bilingual homeschooling is one way that we can really focus in on Portuguese for them. We can fit it into a few hours during the evenings and on the weekends, but it's something that we're super grateful for as an option for our family. Now I just want to share with you a few of the benefits of bilingual homeschooling, why we think it is good for our children. First of all, if you want more about the pros and cons of raising bilingual kids, see my video all on that topic where I talk about this in depth. Multilingualism is something that is very desirable in today's market and also in life in general. It helps us in many, many ways. The first way that this is really obvious is it can help us to build relationships. If my boys want to marry someone who is from Brazil or America, they're able to speak the heart language of that girl. It also helps them to build identity because we live overseas. My son's being able to speak these languages helps them to know that this is who we are as a family within the whole world. They have a specific family and specific identity. Multilingualism allows us to travel more easily as well. If you can speak English, you can pretty much go anywhere in the world, but also if you can speak Portuguese or another language on top of that, you have even more of an advantage. Bilingual homeschooling also paves the way for our boys for higher education in Portuguese or English. Academic vocabulary is so different from the everyday vernacular, the everyday conversations and slang that we have. We have specific terms for math and science and literature that we don't use pretty much in any other sphere of life. My boys need to know these words in order to study in those languages. So the more that we focus on teaching them these academic words through academic activities like homeschooling, the more they are enabled to, in the future, pursue various educational opportunities. And after education, they can also get jobs. Today's job market is very competitive, and you can get a job probably more easily if you have multiple languages at your disposal. So my boys having several languages that they can speak helps them to get jobs not only in various countries, but also to have a competitive advantage for jobs. And no, I'm not the kind of mom who's thinking like, I want this job and this job and this job for my sons. I just want to give them as many tools as possible for life, and to do that in a way that's not putting pressure on them, but that just graciously gives them something for the future. The last benefit that I could think of for this video was that teaching my kids 2 languages helps them to fulfill civic duties. My sons are dual citizens of Brazil and the USA, so that means that they can vote in either country. They also will need to fill out paperwork for marriage, for children, for driver's license, probably in both countries. For that, they will need to be able to read and write and speak in both Portuguese and English. To fulfill civic duties, to pursue higher education, to have a job in another language is really important, and it's also important for my sons to know the culture behind the language. Homeschooling my kids bilingually is one of the only options I know for doing that outside of actually living immersed in the culture itself. Because when we're homeschooling as a family, we are looking at literature-based education that teaches our kids the culture, background, the thoughts. It helps them to get inside the minds of the people in that language. As a mom, I'm really excited to learn more about my husband's culture, Brazil, through his homeschooling experience, and I'm excited to see my sons really get into the cultures of both of their home countries, Brazil and America. While this is something that we will have to fit into after school hours, weekends, summers, as we can, it is something that I think is super valuable and that I think will have powerful benefits for my boys' lives. This is why we have chosen Bilingual Homeschool for our family. If you have other reasons, benefits, stories that you can think of, leave those in the comments below. I would love to hear about other people who have done this before me or doing this with me. It's always great to have community around this type of thing. So thanks so much for chatting with me today through this video. I will chat with you guys again soon, and if you have not yet done so, check out my other videos about bilingualism, and soon I will have more videos about bilingual homeschooling for you. You can check those out in a playlist here and in this video here. I will chat with you guys again soon. Ciao!